me. So in preparation for the Mortal Kombat movie coming out in late April, I'm watching this video made by Callista Studio, but it's like all the story elements and text that I need. So like, because I don't have time to play the games, I don't think I own any. So I was like, I'll just watch it online and then understand it so I'm prepared. And I want to like the series because it's cool and like has so much lore, but I feel like it's hard as a girl to be a fan of this series. Because initially I was like, it's fine if the girls are sexy looking because they're still badasses. But the more I get into the lore, the more I'm like, women don't really win a lot. And they're kind of prizes, but they're still badass at times. But at the same, like, I am just at the first, like, this video is like 12 hours long. It's 11 hours and 59 minutes. And I'm at the 4.5 hour mark. So I'm at the first, I don't know what this game is called. Sometimes they mark it, sometimes they don't. But it's at the point where Armageddon happened and Dark Raiden died to Shao Kahn, and now Raiden's back in, and then Raiden did some vision stuff with his amulet, and now past Raiden, back in the initial Mortal Kombat tournament from Mortal Kombat 1, is going through the motions, and everyone's just meeting for the first time. But it's better quality, so yay. But like, and I want to like these women because they're cool, and they're badass, and they fight, but like, they're not really equal. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And I don't know if there's other like female fans of Mortal Kombat that can like speak on behalf of the women. But I feel like it's a lot of male gaze. And I think this series was made by men, designed by men. So like, it makes sense. Like, Bayonetta is special in the case that she was designed by a woman and uses her sexuality as a power to do good. Or, you know, just fight evil angels. But here I feel like the women are sexy and they fight, but they don't really win a lot of the time. Like, I'm gonna go through each of the women characters that I've personally met so far, and I'm not gonna mention everyone because again, I'm just at this first timeline change, and I know there's many other female characters that I haven't even met yet, but let's just get on with it. Okay, so in the initial first game with Sub-Zero getting the map of elements from the temple and kills Scorpion, he's then he goes on the whole thing, go to the Nether Realm to fight Reborn Scorpion, and there's 3 women guards who protect Quan Chi. One of them, Serena, Kia, and I think Latika. And Latika and Kia die, but Serena survives. I'm not flipping you off, it's the ring finger. But she survives and then helps Bihan, I don't know how to say his name, original Sub-Zero, to fight off Quan Chi, but then gets killed by Shinnok. So like, there was a point where she was useful, but then she dies. And then we get into Mortal Kombat, like the actual tournament, not the game. Sonya Blade's there, and she's not the champion. So that's already like a... But then in the second game, even though she's rewarded with a medal at the Wuxi Academy by Raiden, she gets kidnapped by Baraka. Hi. Good night, Daddy.
Good night. You look very cute.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. Bye. That's buddy. Isn't he adorable? Anyway, and then she gets kidnapped and then has to get saved by Jax, who's suddenly in the story, which was very weird because how I understood Mortal Kombat, because I understood part of the timelines before the original story happened, and I always knew that Sonya rescued Jax because Jax was imprisoned and got his arms ripped off by, I think, Goro. That's how I understood Jax's origins. So I always found that empowering because Sonya was able to rescue the guy. But in, I think it's Mortal Kombat 2, the game, Sonya needs to get rescued. So that's already a downer. And then while Kung Lao and Liu Kang are in the Nether Realm, I believe, or in Outworld, looking for Sonya, who was kidnapped by Baraka, or not looking for them, or just, they're on a mission by Raiden, who's actually, I think, Quan Chi or Shang Tsung in disguise to help fight, to then go fight Shao Kahn. They run into Katana, and Liu Kang's immediately like hitting on her, and I think she loses in the fight, and she runs away. But then she gets trapped, and then Melina and Jade show up to get her, and I think protect her because she's still under the mind control of Shao Kahn. believing that she's his actual daughter. And so I think Kung Lao and Liu Kang fight Jade and Melina, but then the mind control, I think, wears off on Kitana, or she becomes aware that, like, oh wait, no, Shao Kahn killed my actual dad and then married my mother, but then she ended up dying, and then I became his daughter, and Melina's my clone. So that sucks. So, like, Kitana decides, oh, I'm gonna change my ways, and that's fine. But then and then she kills her sister, who isn't her sister, who's her clone, who's also part, I think, Tarkatan? And then, I don't know what happens to Jade. I think Jade dies, so that also sucks. And then Kitana doesn't really do anything. I think she, like, tries to fight Shao Kahn and then loses. And then I think Liu Kang rescues her, so she becomes a damsel. Also on top of being a princess. It's, like, weirdly stereotypical. Also, she was weirdly, like, there was, like, actual people, like, portraying them in some of the cutscenes. Or not cutscenes, but, like, they used actual people as models for the character, and she was weirdly, like, a white actress when she's supposed to be Asian. But they fixed that later, so it's fine, but that's weird. And then, as I'm going through this new timeline, I'm learning about, like, how Kitana is under Shang Tsung and then goes to fight Liu Kang because he's doing too well in the new timeline's Mortal Kombat tournament, the 9th or the 10th one. That would determine if Earth gets invaded or not. Then loses to Liu Kang, and he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll keep it a secret. And he underestimates her the whole time. Like, he's kind of playing with her. He, like, kicks her in the butt at one point, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you treating her like this? And then there's, even before that, there was a chapter with Sonya Blade where she's off on her own. Johnny Cage is trying to, like, schmooze with her and be like, hey, I'm Johnny Cage. He's such an idiot. I know he's kind of cool because he has, like, these powers later on because he discovers he's, like, some cool sub-breed of human, but, like, he's such a butthole. I'm sorry, he's so dumb. But anyway, he fights Sonya, she loses, gets mad, and tells him to buzz off. Kano comes in, kicks Johnny Cage off a ledge, but he's able to catch himself, and then Kano's just, like, beating the crap out of Sonya, and then Johnny Cage gets back up, because he's like, I do my own stunts, and then he fights Kano, and thus saving Sonya. And it's like, But then I'll give the new timeline credit, because Sonya fought Sub-Zero and won, fought Raiden and won, fought Jade and won, and then fought Kano and won. While in Johnny Cage chapter, all he fought was Reptile and Baraka, so she gets extra points, but, like, there's a part of me that's mad. And then there was even, Shiva showed up, who's the Shokin, I believe she's Goro's race. I don't know if she's related to Goro. I think she's just part of the race. There was a chapter, I think, with Cyrax, who's not cyberized yet, which is cool because we never really got to know him in the old timeline when he wasn't a cyborg, so yay. She gets defeated, which sucks. And then, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, what are you doing to these women? There was even, and then before the new timeline started, I forgot, there was this part with Sindel, when she got revived and then remembered Kitana. She's then imprisoned in her own castle, in her own prison, and the idiot Shujinko comes to rescue her, and it's like, and then, even worse, Kitana can't even save her own mother, because she's too busy dealing with Shao Kahn, trying to invade Indenia again, and it's like, or I think, no, Shao Kahn was weakened, so I think Kitana is trying to, like, kill Shao Kahn, so she's invading Outworld to, like, stop his forces from doing bad. But, like, which is, like, she gets some points, but then she deducts them because she can't save her own mother, who's another female. And, like, I know there's, like, Scarlet later, I know there's Kira, but the only thing I know about Kira, and briefly in this video that I've been watching, is that she joins the new Black Dragons because Cabal, who's starting his own Black Dragons after after leaving the OG Black Dragons, I forgot on whose orders, on some guy's orders, I don't remember, but, like, he finds her because she had to disguise herself as a woman in Afghanistan, and though she comes out of the cave victorious and not dead, she still ends up serving a man. So there's a part of me, like, listen, I'm not a femenazi, I'm not the biggest feminist, I didn't take a women and genders class in college. So, like, I'm very on the cusp. But, like, there's a part of me that's like, are the women not good in this game? Like, I know later when Sonya and Johnny Cage have a kid, they have Cassie, but then she ends up taking after her dad with the ancestral powers, but she's still in the special forces like her mom. And then Jackie is cool because she is Jax's daughter. It's tragic because then her dad ends up getting psychologically damaged because he became irreverent due to the second timeline. I don't know all those details yet because I just watched the Mortal Kombat 11 cutscenes because I thought, oh, let me just watch this. So maybe if like the new movies are picking up on this timeline, I should take notes from Mortal Kombat 11. But now that I'm like, we're not even close to Mortal Kombat 11. I think we're on Mortal Kombat 4 in this 12-hour video, and I'm at the 4.5-hour mark. So, you know, there's so much to go. But like, I'm just so confused and conflicted. I don't know if like, again, if there's female Mortal Kombat fans out there, tell me why you like the fan or you like the games. Like, I don't know if you just like it because of the combat and the actual mechanics of the video game, or I'm hoping there's some female fans, even male fans, who like the female characters in the series, because I can like them to an extent, but the male characters seem to be way more developed and interesting and who win more. Like, I remember there was this series that this guy had who tallied up all the wins and losses of Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Almost always, the boys did better than the girls. Like, Taya sucks. Mai, even though she was cool and sexy, also sucked at dueling. Or didn't get to duel enough and she lost a lot. And then the only girl who was like actually kind of good, I think, was Alexis. And I don't know if that's changed with the V-Rain series, but that's not the point. Like, I want to like this series, but I'm getting conflicted the more I watch it. Cause like, I don't know, again, maybe it's just like a male gaze sort of game and I need to not have like any sort of feminist like identity in when watching these cutscenes, but at the same time there's a part of me that's like, these women are badass and I want to see them succeed and be badasses, but then they don't, and then I'm let down. And yes, not all the guys are perfect. Johnny Cage is annoying. Kung Lao is like obsessed with himself. Liu Kang's a little too faithful. Raiden gets easily corrupted. Shinnok and Quan Chi and Shao Kahn and Unaga are dicks. I really like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I like younger brother Sub-Zero, who I think is Kuai Liang, not Bihan, who then becomes Noob Saibot. And then I like Scorpion, but he's very vengeful and he has his own issues. And then like even Sub-Zero Bihan had issues because he killed Scorpion and then gets so corrupted in Netherrealm, but like who wouldn't get corrupted in Netherrealm? Again, there's all these reverent people later. And it's just like, I don't know. And maybe that's the point. Maybe all the characters aren't supposed to be perfect. Because again, there has to be all these timelines getting reset because people keep fucking up. Mainly Raiden. Though I still really like Raiden. But he keeps screwing up because he keeps making the wrong decisions. And then even later, there's, I know with Mortal Kombat 11, there's, the goddess that, or one of the elder gods that Raiden talks to a lot, who's like nature-y. I don't remember her name. And then there's Kronika, but like Kronika is like, she's almost like agender. I don't know. And then even the elder god who betrays Raiden to go with Kronika because Kronika's her mother is like, I need to go be on my mom's side, even though I don't think I believe in her and what she's doing, but she's my mom, so, and I get it. And then even Kronika like has her own like issues. Or not issues, but like she doesn't win, and she recruits a lot of men to do what she wants, which is kind of annoying now that I think about it. And then there's even Frost. I forgot Frost in Mortal Kombat 11. I know she probably has like an interesting history, but she just seems like a bitch. And then I know there's Tanya, who's an Edenian traitor who lets in Shinnok into Edenia under Sindel's nose for him to take over. Plot. Tanya's a butthole because she betrayed her own kind, and then Frost is an asshole because she has too much of an ego. Or at least that's what I understand. Like, she was Sub-Zero's protege because she also has ice powers, but then she becomes a butthole and works with Kronika. And then, like, I feel like Katana gets a lot of sidelining. Like, yes, she's the queen, and she even becomes Khan. She becomes Katana Khan, which I thought was super cool. I was like, yay, good job. But, like, I feel like she just, for a lot of the time, she was just the wife or, like, love interest of Liu Kang, which isn't great. I don't know if that changes down the line. Again, I'm still, like, dipping my feet into this series, but I wanted to get my initial thoughts on the women out of the way. Again, I'm not totally in the know of, like, every single character right now. I'm just starting to recognize faces more. I'm like, oh, there's Cyrax. Oh, there's that. When Mortal Kombat Apocalypse cutscenes were going on, I was able to point out, be like, oh, that's who died, and that's that guy who's fighting him. So that was kind of neat. But I'm still, like, learning about their personalities, but I feel like the women could be written just a little bit better. Again, the fact that they're badasses is great, but they're not doing a lot of winning. Though again, Sonya Blade gets points because she then becomes the general of Special Forces, and she was doing a lot of kick-assery in this reboot of Mortal Kombat. So that's good. And Cassie's cool, but again, she kind of takes after her dad. Aside from the whole actor, special forces, I'm an idiot persona, she takes after in the fact that she has like the ancestral power. It's not because of the training with her mom, it's because she got the bloodline from her dad that she's able to win, you know? So it's like, it's still kind of a male guided win, if you know what I mean. And like, again, this is not to like bash, I'm not a man hater. I have a loving boyfriend. I love my dad. I have good guy friends. And I respect everyone. It's just like, when there's all these like really interesting guy characters, and then there's these females who like have the potential to be really cool, but then they're not living up to their expectations, and they're just kind of like a lot of titties, I get a little disappointed. I'm not upset with the titties. The jiggle physics, good job, guys. Really proud of you. And again, they look badass while they're kicking ass, but they're not always winning, which makes me upset. Like, again, I know Katana becomes a Khan, and that's super cool. But it's because Shao Kahn, I think, beat up Kotal Khan. So he's like, I can't lead them. You have to. I am paralyzed, or whatever. I didn't watch Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, so maybe he's not. But, like, he looked pretty paralyzed by the time he got beaten up. And then Jade, I don't even think got to really do much. She just fell in love with Kotal Khan, or had a past relationship. I haven't seen that part. But, Kotal Khan seemed cool. He seemed like a well-rounded character, from what I understood from just Mortal Kombat 11. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to touch upon. Maybe Scarlet ends up being cooler later, and maybe as they're rewriting the plot lines, they develop the characters more to be more well-rounded in terms of guys and girls, but for now I'm seeing a lot of sexism. It's kind of bumming me out. It's not completely detracting from the viewing experience, because again, I like the lore, and I like, especially now that there's been like a new timeline set up, I'm like, ooh, how are all the pieces gonna fall into place now? So that's been fun to watch. But at the same time, I'm still just like, can the girls be a little more kick-assery? Especially because Sonya was sexy in the original games, but they gave her this ridiculous, like, super booby outfit, and even Katana got more boobage. And she and Melina and Jade were already sexy, but I feel like they, like, upped the sexy in this. And like, I haven't watched any of the Mortal Kombat live action movies. I only ever watched the Mortal Kombat animated Scorpion's Revenge movie just the other week. And then obviously I'm gonna watch the upcoming one. And Melina looks badass, and so does Sonya. I need them to be good. So yeah, that's my TED Talk. Again, if there are female and male people out there who have a good argument for what's to come with the girls, and if the guys and girls in this series are equal, let me know, because I'm losing a teensiest bit of faith, and I don't want to. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go back to watching the video now, even though it's late, and I'm gonna continue to take notes because I want to like get this all memorized so that when I go into the Mortal Kombat live action movie coming out at the end of April, which I think is like, it's like next week, isn't it? Isn't it April? It was supposed to be the 16th, so it was supposed to be on Friday, but then they moved it, I think, to the 26th. So it's 2 weeks from now. I think that's a Monday. Or is it August 23rd? Then it's next Friday, so that's neat. But I have to learn all this lore, take notes, and, like, understand everything, because I feel like there's going to be, like, a lot of, like, Easter eggs and, like, little nuggets of, like, if this does well, this is what's going to happen in the sequel, and this is what you should remember. So, like, I want to go into this like I do to any, like, Marvel or DC movie and look for all, like, the nuggets and like little Easter eggs. Like, that's been really fun with like all the DC shows and the Marvel Disney Plus shows. So like I want to have the same sort of experience with the Mortal Kombat movie, if that makes any sense. So yeah, anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon when I understand everything that is Mortal Kombat. I might even make my own video constructing all the timelines, because I've been really inspired by these guys, and I kind of just want to like do voiceover and make like a PowerPoint presentation pretty much. But we'll see if that ends up coming to be. But for now, I'm gonna go keep watching, and hopefully the women get better. They're like good at the moment, but I want them to be great, excellent, superb, because I already am like in like Scorpion's corner and Sub-Zero's corner and Liu Kang and Kung Lao's and Raiden's, but like I want to be in Sonya's corner too. I want to be in Jade's corner and Katana's. Anyway, again, maybe I'll make another part to this and divulge what happens at the 8.5 hour mark. Who knows? But again, I'm gonna say goodbye now, because I haven't said goodbye, and I've meant to like 5 times now. So, bye-bye. Hi, it's me. I'm back. It's a different time. I finished watching like a 12-hour thing involving most of the cutscenes and like plot summary involving Mortal Kombat. And I feel like my point that I made about the female characters still stand. I feel like they're not really used to the best of their ability, aside from Sonya and Cassie. And I feel like it's a problem that one of them's new, and then the other one just dies in the current timeline, but then is back, because they're like, we're resetting it again, and it's like, of course you are. It's, I feel like I still enjoy this series quite a bit, but I feel like it's problematic. Like, I don't know about Street Fighter or anything to, like, really compare it to, but I feel like there's a lot more issues with the females in this franchise than there are with others. So I'm hoping, and the only thing of Mortal Kombat content I haven't watched are, like, the live-action movies. I think I might do a video on that because the live-action latest Mortal Kombat movie is premiering on Friday, this Friday, the 23rd. On HBO Max, and I think in theaters. I'm gonna be watching it online, so that's why I'm not certain about the theater bit. But I'm excited for it. But I really want Sonya to be good, and I want Mileena to be good, because I feel like Mileena really got japed, and I'm not looking forward to seeing her getting japed, because this black actress that is playing her seems really cool, and they race bended her, I guess, from like kind of Asian to black, but I don't know. I feel like Mileena's race is complicated because she's half Edenian, who kind of looks a little Asianish because she's a clone of Katana who went from being white to Asian to also being part Tarkatan, which is like this made-up race that has a lot of teeth, and they have like the things that come out of their arms, and they're cool. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe there's like a spin-off game I didn't watch, because again, it was a 12-hour video. And it was a lot, and I'm like gonna take notes and probably do my own like breakdown of like, this is what happened, this is what I understand, and maybe it can play into like how I view the movie next on another viewing, and then what I could see if this movie does do well, which I've been hearing is doing well in Asia, because I think that's when it was first premiering, because it got released early. So if it's doing well there, I'm assuming there's gonna be a sequel. So we can always just talk about like sequel ideas once I watch this new movie. But I feel like, yeah, now that I think about it, again, if there was a spin-off game that I didn't watch in that 12-hour video, Scarlet? Is Scarlet a new character? Because I did not see her, but they made it seem like, oh, she's been around this whole time, and like has been she's always been a blood witch for Shao Kahn, and I'm like, I don't think so. Same thing. I feel like Aaron Black just appeared out of nowhere. He was suddenly working with Kotal Khan, and he was like, yeah, I'm an Outworlder. I'm a Earthworld person, but I came to Outworld, and it's like, how? You seem plenty human. Did it happen during the invasion? Like, it was a little confusing. Maybe I need to get more of a breakdown on, like, the characters, but, like, Scarlet did not really appear. Also, when did Serena come back? Because in the original timeline, when Bihan was Sub-Zero, before he got killed, he met up with 3, like, Netherrealm dwellers who were guarding Quan Chi, and one of them was Serena. Sorry, not flipping you off, but Serena. But those 2 died, and then Serena was left, but then she's killed by Shinnok in the original game. But then I think she's just back in Mortal Kombat 9 or 10. I forget where the marker was. I think it's 10. She's randomly working with a team. I forget when it happened. It was during Jax Briggs' storyline, when he was back from being back to normal after being a reverend. He's like, now I'm just going to be surveillance and help out, but he ends up doing some fighting himself. And he's in the Netherrealm, and Serena's there. And I'm like, didn't you die? Also, we haven't seen you. So maybe there was a scene I missed in that cutting up of the plot, just so it could be like a 12-hour video and nothing longer. But I'm a little confused. I was like, where did you come from? And they said, and I was like, wait, that design looks familiar. And then they're like, that's Serena? I was like blown away. She totally, can't even speak words. She threw me for a loop. I was so surprised to see her again, because I didn't think we would. A character I did not touch upon in my previous video is Devora. I forgot about her because she kind of freaks me out because she's bug related. And I feel like she falls into a category that's sort of like Chronica. Like, even though she's like, she has a female form, she sort of refers to herself like Ermac does as like we, because she's part of like a hive mind, but she still sort of works independently. Like she betrayed Kotal Khan so that she can get the amulet for Shinnok to help him. She wanted to get the amulet for Quan Chi so that Shinnok could be revived and return. So, but I feel like she was okay, but again, she kind of, I don't know if I can consider her part of the list, because just even though she is graphed as female in terms of figure, like she's very scantily clad as well, but she's not like, not that she's not feminine, it's just that I feel like because of her species, which I don't know the name of, she speaks like it's part of a hive mind. So I feel like she's just like a product of another big ambiguous hive that's like humongous, unless the whole body is the hive, so it's female. I don't know. I just saw her and I was like, you're creepy, but go you. You're doing neat thing. Yeah, I feel like there wasn't a lot of respect for her, or just any of the women in this series. I feel like there's not really anyone that really gets redeemed. I even forgot to mention that Sindel and Katana, more to like knock them down, is that they're both turned into reverence, and Sindel kills Katana while she's being controlled by Shao Kahn, and like never really comes to like the acknowledgement of like the horrible deed she committed. And it's very strange. And maybe it's a plus that like she's able to kill several of the members. Like I think she kills Liu Kang, Katana, Kung Lao, Jade, like tons of people, so that they can become reverent. I think she also kills Jax, or maybe Jax gets killed by someone else. But it's just, so like Sindel gets pluses for being powerful, but she gets minus points again because she was being controlled and she ended up killing her own daughter, and then they don't really get like the unity they deserved, which I thought was weird. Also, why isn't she in Mortal Kombat 11? Is she in Aftermath? I haven't watched anything of Aftermath. Maybe I should, because I'm a little confused. So yeah, I think that's my final thoughts. Again, if there's people out there who can give me like better reasons as to why this isn't like really sexist, let me know, because I mean, I don't want to be like that femenazi person. I'm really not. Like, I like that they have boobs. I like that they look sexy, but like I've watched shows recently where like the women are really powerful. Like I watched Hellsing, I think Ultimate, which is a pristine show. I'm going to talk about it. We're doing it. And Integra and Victoria, Saris Victoria, are just phenomenal characters, and they're done really well. There was another show, I can't quite remember it. Not Jobless Reincarnation, though the females there are pretty cool. Though they are sort of like part of an isekai, so at the same time, it's like, I think in Slime, a lot of the females are kick-ass and very cool. The time I got reincarnated as a slime, I just call it Slime, because it's just easier. That's a long title. But I feel like the women here could be done better, and they're not, and it makes me worried about the future of the franchise. Because while they had to wrap up stuff with the previous timeline so that the new timeline could come into play, and like Katana became a Khan, which is awesome, but I'm confused. Like, I feel like she was the only character that really got good stuff going on. I mean, Sonya ends up dying in her older self. Spoilers, by the way, spoilers. Katana becomes Khan, old Sonya dies, but new Sonya's in and appreciates her daughter Cassie. And then Cassie's kind of cool, Jackie's okay. But again, I feel like there's a lot of focus on the guys, and I feel like Sindel doesn't come back, so I don't know what that's about. So I hope that changes going forward, that Sonya and Melina, who I think are the only females in the upcoming movie. Maybe aside from like, maybe they're hiding Shiva, or maybe we'll see Katana. We saw her fan in the trailer, but I don't know if she's been cast. I have to look into that. So Sonya, Melina, and then like the friend, foster sister of Cole Young, who I think is rumored to be related to Scorpion somehow. But again, it's like focusing around a male character, and I get it. This is probably kind of like the male gaze, meant for males to play, but I don't know. I want the females to kick ass. The guys can kick ass, and they do. And sure, they're not perfect either. Like Raiden has made several mistakes. Liu Kang, like sort of blindly gives into faith. Kung Lao like always gets in his own way because of his ego. Johnny Cage is a butthole. Jack Spriggs gets manipulated, or he dies, comes back, and he's psychologically damaged, which sucks. Kenshi is an abandonment father, but he's a cool character. Who else am I thinking of? Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, Quan Chi, and Shinnok suck, but they're villains, so they're supposed to suck. Cyrax is interesting. Sector sucks. Kano is like sometimes fun, sometimes not worth keeping around. Sometimes I'm like, just end his existence already, please. He's a lot to handle. He's almost as bad as Johnny in terms of like ego, but like There's a part of me that's like attracted to his accent, so I'm like, it's okay if you keep talking. I like your accent, but you're so annoying at the same time. And Scorpion and Sub-Zero are cool, and they've had a lot of damage, obviously. Both Bi-Han and Kuai Liang. I'm hoping I'm saying those names correctly. Apologies if I'm not. And obviously Hanzo, Scorpion, they've been through so much shit. But they've really, I felt like, especially in Mortal Kombat 11 and 10, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Hanzo and Kuai Liang were able to really like overcome a lot of shit and like rebuild their clans. Sub-Zero restarted the Lin Kuei without cybernetic enhancements. Hanzo rebuilt the Shirai Ryu, and that's super cool. And I'm trying to think of who else I can like honorably mention. I don't know if it's weird now that I think about it. The brother of Kung Lao, I think his name is Jin Lung, and then Takeda, who is Kenshi's son, didn't appear in Mortal Kombat 11. I wonder if they're in Aftermath. Maybe that's something I have to put my time into watching, because they introduced a lot of characters in 10. And also, they didn't keep a lot of the same characters in 11. Or there was a lot of characters in 11. But there was definitely some that were missing, and some that got more attention than others. So maybe Aftermath fills in some of the gaps? I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that's my overall thoughts on the females in the series. Again, if you have valid arguments for them, let me know so I feel a little less weird for liking the series. Again, no offense to people who are female or don't identify as either gender who like this series, because I do enjoy it to an extent, but I feel like there's a little voice in my head is like, the women don't do enough. They kind of suck. But then I'm like, it's still a fun time. And I like most of the characters. I just feel like when I'm looking at all the characters lined up, the women are sort of lacking. That's just my thing. And again, I hope maybe that they fix that with Sonya and Melina and possibly Katana in the live action movie. And I'm gonna watch, I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna watch the other live action movies that came before this one. I think there's one that came out, I think there's been 2. I'm not sure. I watched Scorpion's Revenge, and that was pretty good. I'll post like a reaction to that. Let me know what you guys think about the characters down below. Let me know who your favorite is. And if it's one of the girls, let me know why. I'd love to hear why. Because I don't know who my favorite is. I mean, I feel like it's a tie between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, me leaning a little bit more towards Hanzo. There's something about him that I find really nice. Like, I feel like Kuai Liang is still very interesting, but Hanzo's been through so much. We've been on this journey with this Scorpion like throughout the whole series. Like, he's like the titular character, while Sub-Zero has been Bi-Han and Kuai Liang, though I think Kuai Liang at this point has been Sub-Zero the longest, because Bi-Han then becomes Noob Saibot. There's so many characters. But let me know your favorite character. Again, I think my first is probably Scorpion, then Sub-Zero, then I think Liu Kang. I really like Liu Kang. And Kenshi. I really like Kenshi. Anyway, let me know where your guys' thoughts are down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one with possibly and probably more Mortal Kombat content. I'll call it the MKK, Mortal Kombat content. Alright, anyway, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.